welcome to LC Coins World. This isn't just another video about pennies. We're about to uncover 6 Lincoln cents that look completely ordinary, but each one hides something rare, mysterious, and highly sought after. Mint mistakes, secret varieties, and collector favorites. You've probably never noticed these coins have surprised even the experts, and they could be hiding in your change right now. Get ready, because the search for hidden and discovering that one of them could be worth thousands of dollars. That's the magic of coin collecting, and in today's video we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating and potentially lucrative finds, the 1974 Lincoln penny. Now, at first glance, this coin may look ordinary. After all, billions of Lincoln cents were minted in 1974. But this little copper treasure from the Denver Mint holds secrets that only sharp-eyed collectors know to look for. What makes it so special? 2 words: ultra-rare errors. Before we explore the specific details of the 1974 penny, let's journey into the incredible world of penny errors. Error coins are like hidden gems born from mistakes during the minting process. The 1974 Lincoln cent is more than just a 1-cent coin. It sits at the crossroads of tradition, innovation, experimentation, and political pressure. And to understand its full historical value, we need to go all the way back to the early 20th century to appreciate why Abraham Lincoln was placed on the 1-cent coin in the first place, and how the long-standing legacy of the Lincoln cent has shaped generations of collectors and historians. Designed by Victor David Brenner and introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the Lincoln penny replaced the Indian head cent and became the first American coin to feature a real historical figure. This was a major departure from earlier U.S. coinage that mostly depicted symbolic figures like Lady Liberty or representations of freedom, strength, and agriculture. The Lincoln cent was both a tribute to one of the most respected presidents in American history and a cultural shift in how Americans viewed their currency. From that point forward, presidents, leaders, and real individuals began appearing on coins regularly. For decades, the Lincoln cent maintained its iconic obverse design, which featured a bust of President Lincoln facing right with the inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date on the coin in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The reverse design was changed from the wheat ears, known as the wheat penny, to the Lincoln Memorial design created by Frank Gasparro. This new design honored not only Lincoln himself, but also the monument dedicated to him, located in Washington, D.C. This design remained in place until 2008. Now, focusing specifically on the year 1974, we must consider the context of the early 1970s, when the U.S. economy was under immense pressure. Inflation was rising, the cost of raw materials was becoming unsustainable, and there was growing concern in Washington about the long-term feasibility of producing billions of coins using traditional copper. The mint began experimenting with alternatives to the copper composition, and that is where the story of the 1974 Lincoln cent becomes more intriguing and historically significant than almost any other year in the series. In 1970, for the standard Lincoln cent was still being struck with a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc, and each coin had a diameter of 19 millimeters and weighed 3.11 grams. But because copper prices were spiking and the intrinsic metal value of the coin was approaching or exceeding its face value, the U.S. Mint authorized a major testing initiative to explore the use of alternative materials, including aluminum. Approximately 1.5 million experimental Lincoln cents were struck in 1974, using aluminum as the base metal. These aluminum cents were lighter than the standard copper cents and were expected to be a more economical alternative for future production. However, the aluminum cents were never released to the public due to multiple concerns, voiced by different organizations including medical professionals who warned that aluminum coins might not be visible in X-rays if accidentally swallowed by children. This health concern was compounded by objections from vending machine manufacturers, who claimed that aluminum coins would not work reliably with existing machines. The aluminum cents were ordered to be destroyed and most were reportedly melted down, but a few escaped destruction and have become legendary. Among numismatists today, only a very small number of these experimental coins are believed to exist in private hands, and legal battles over their ownership continue to be controversial, because technically they were never legally issued by the U.S. Mint. While the aluminum cent gained the most attention, the regular issue 1974 Lincoln cent continued production in vast quantities and was minted in 3 different locations across the United States: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coins struck in Philadelphia carry no mint mark. The ones struck in Denver bear a small d mint mark just below the date, and those produced in San Francisco have an S mint mark and were mostly made as proof coins for collectors. Proof coins from 1974 struck at the San Francisco Mint are of particular interest to numismatists because of their mirror-like finish, high quality strikes, and limited mintage. They were made specifically for collectors and not intended for general circulation, so their preservation and value tend to be much higher than circulated coins from the same year. The 1974 Lincoln cent also exhibits a number of known varieties and errors that keep collectors searching and discovering to this day. These include double diab versus repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, and clipped plankets. Each of these error types tells a story about the minting process, quality control, and mechanical limitations of the time, and collectors often pay a premium for coins that feature these unusual traits. In terms of sheer numbers, over 4 billion Lincoln cents were struck in 1970, for making it one of the most widely circulated coins in U.S. history, and that widespread use makes it a nostalgic piece for many Americans who grew up in that era, or who remember using these coins for everything from buying candy to making payphone calls. Yet despite the massive quantity in circulation, high-grade examples in mint state, especially those certified by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, can still command significant value, particularly if they are part of the elusive aluminum test strikes or if they carry rare error varieties.